We're streaming earlier than I intended. Um, I'm actually getting flashbacks to a stream I did, I think 2 or 3 years ago. There was a guy that came in the comment section after I published the stream, and I think it was called "It Can Only Get Worse." And I was just talking about like a variety of things, which happens a lot when I do a stream. And I mentioned that I had a relative throw out some. I think it was shampoo, and it was really stupid because it was in one of those transparent bottles that you can look in and clearly if you know any is still in there or not, which would thus necessitate getting rid of it. And I remember in the comment section, this person was like, "I have decided to stop watching you because this is irrelevant and you are talking about something I do not care about." I thought it was really funny because it's another example of these people that you've never seen before. If you have, it was one time and they just vanish and they come back to write something antagonistic or weird. I don't know, just it just seems like I really can only name maybe two guys that showed up over and over again and then did the like critic, I don't like you angle. But even with them, it's like a lot of times there's a period where they just vanish and then they come back and they start writing that weird stuff. But to get into the events of today, I was, and it's not even today. It's been going on since Friday. So my TV's connected to the internet, um, and since Friday, it's been acting up and pretty much behaving like a piece of garbage. And this is really irritating for me because if I want to watch something, I can't watch anything. But what was so weird is that it would seem like I didn't even have to do anything except wait it out, maybe like an hour, 2 hours, and it would start acting normal again. And I would just kind of say, okay, that's weird, but it is what it is. But then last night, after I go to sleep, it's like 7 o'clock. I'm not go to sleep, but just like take a nap, not retire for the night. But like I go to lay down, and I wake up with a headache that has still not left me, and a TV that's acting up. I'm like, okay, it's probably gonna pass after like an hour or 2 hours. Let me go take a shower. I come back, it's still acting like this, and it acts like this all the way up until midnight. And I'm telling you, for like 5 hours, I keep getting up, resetting this, turning off that, unplugging this. I think I even could sit here and if I took the cables out and just like give a visual demonstration of all the lengths we went to make this thing work again. Um, but it wouldn't go. And it's what needs to be understood is I've had periods where my internet wasn't working before. Um, but usually it's not in a vacuum, as in when it doesn't work, other devices won't work either. They just all act terrible. Like nothing is acting correct at all. This is the first instance I've ever seen where everything else in every other room works except here. It's so bad that the only reason I'm even being able to stream right now is because I'm using the hotspot for my phone to power my device for this. But I've never seen something like this before where it works in every other room. And I've actually I've had people where they have houses like that where there's a room where the electricity doesn't work. Not the electricity, the Wi-Fi doesn't work. But it's worked before in here, so that's what makes it all the more bizarre. If it wasn't going to work, it wouldn't just randomly start not working, one particular just out of the blue and then work a little bit on Saturday and then not work for some of Sunday and then work again up until Sunday afternoon. And it's just like, God, I don't know what that is. I really don't. Technology is just a terrible, horrible, um, bipolar machination of people. Did you check the outlet to make sure the red light wasn't on? Yes. Um, I mean, I really, I guess we could get into it. The first thing I did was unplug the two cables in the back, which automatically turns it off. Automatically will make you, you know, it turns it off and makes it appear to be having some progress. Then I manually reset it using the machine's own macromations. I clicked the there's a reset button. Then I went and restarted my router. Um, which, by the way, I know the router's not the issue because, like I said, all the other devices in the other rooms are working except in here. So, there's been no shortage of things that have been experimented and attempted to get this thing to work again. All night, 5 hours of trying to fix that thing, and it just wouldn't work. I'm just so tired of this, man. I really lost a lot of my patience. And it's a cloudy day too. It looks pretty awful out there. God, I've never seen an error like this. And even the other person I spoke to, yeah, that sucks, man. Sorry that happened to you. I really couldn't believe it. And I wish you could have seen it. I was just sitting here on Friday, and all of a sudden the TV stopped working. And then the internet was also not working on my phone. Just no internet in this room, right? Then it starts to work again after maybe 2, 3 hours of me just using my phone to watch things. Then it stopped working again on Saturday for like 2 hours. My brother was over here. Um, and then it worked again until he left, which was like 4 or 5 o'clock, and it's been screwing up ever since. I was like, this is so weird. And I've had somebody running diagnostics for me. They don't know what's wrong with it. This is something I have never seen before, where you'll have a room where not where you cannot use the internet, but in all the other parts of the house you can. And it's a room where in the past you've been able to log on, just fine. So something happened that we haven't been able to figure out what it is. God, I'm just so sick and tired of these. It never stops, man. That's why I said doing things on here can just be the biggest hassle and frustrating saga you've ever witnessed. You again. I'm still laughing. I told you, man, the best part about being I guess a small channel is that when people threaten to leave, 9 times out of 10, it's someone you've never seen before, and like for a fact does not actually support you. Doing, I just sit there cracking like this really. That's who's gonna like. I'm gonna be missing so much. But like I said, if you're on this site long enough, you meet a lot of weird people and individuals that do strange things, and I mean, like you saw that on Saturday. You won't get a career, just all kind of weird little flexes. And again, that's one of the things about the internet. It's just people trying to make themselves feel more important than they actually are. See, I've been instructed to wait 30 minutes until restarting our efforts, and I figured that I should, try to, I guess, knock out a stream while I'm waiting for so long. Because I highly doubt that whatever we do in 30 minutes is going to, like, I'm just, that's how um, pessimistic I am. Because I wish you could have seen all the efforts I went through last night. Like, just, I must have done at least 4 or 5 different things to try and make that stuff, and it just wouldn't. And again, I know it's not the Wi-Fi itself because when I go next to the router, and, try to go on the internet, it works. I can connect and I can, browse and do all the other stuff, type of activities. Yeah, the internet is filled with insane people who need to find someone to tear down in order to make themselves feel better. Yeah, but it's like, I don't know. I just see it as a waste of energy because you look at the comment from Saturday. That's a person who's been to my channel before enough to know that they apparently don't like what I say or my content, but then they keep coming back. It's weird. But I already told you before, what I really believe is that it's that Tony guy on another account. Like I've told you before, and you've noticed this. Most women do not comment on this channel. They act like this channel doesn't even exist. It's usually these like creepy guys that come and try to, argue and fuss and have and bicker. So I think it was that same guy on another account, like pretend because and we've seen them do that before because there was another guy who used to like write weird stuff and he stole some woman's picture and pretended to be a woman. And then one of my other subs like saw him on a previous stream and was like, "Oh my god, that's John." So I think it was a guy pretending to be a chick because we've seen them do that at least twice now. What's the other one that one crazy one that was from supposedly from the UK? I'm trying to remember what her name was. Um, I'm forgetting what her name was, but you know what I'm talking about. She's in like I didn't block her, so her I use in quotations, but that's another person where I think it's a guy pretending to be a because it's always the same thing. They have no profile picture. Um, and they try to like argue with you or appeal to some fallacy of things being the same. It's they have the repeated script. They feel like if they can compare themselves to a random stranger whose lives they know nothing about, they'll be a better person. Well, the thing with me in particular is I've been pretty transparent about the stuff that bothers me or my shortcomings. But the part of this you have to understand is these people have never shown in any capacity that they're better than the individuals they choose to belittle and attempt to ridicule and make fun of. This account on Saturday said that it was a retired, not retired, it was an RN. And I'm like, okay, can you show proof? I have badges and you can see them if you let me appear on your streets. Like you don't need me to to authorize you to be in a video. You can go make a video yourself and put it on your channel and then say, "Hey, I got here's a link." I'm telling you, man, the easiest way to kill the attempts by these people to like make themselves sound, bigger than they actually are is to just say, "Hey, can you show some proof?" Because once you open that can of worms, I'm telling you, they're I've never seen any of these people actually show evidence of out of all of them and all of their claims, I've never seen a single one show proof of anything they say. And that really should tell you something. I'm just looking at my TV, it's over there loading. That's some of the worst internet ever. Also, who cares about her badges? No amount of success will ever supplement a terrible personality, but a lot of people seem to think they're gods among men because they get a little success. Dude, I just think it's so funny how like what was the purpose of that person even appearing other than to just be obnoxious and waste everyone's time with their presence? Like you don't like what I have to say, but you're gonna sit here and watch it and try to argue with me and I guess try to change my mind. And then when that doesn't work, you're gonna throw out some insults and then be surprised when you get, gotten rid of. I don't know. It's weird. And listen, I don't believe that person had any badges. I don't even believe that was an actual woman. I think it was all just the same, like one or two guys on a bunch of different accounts. Because we've established this before. It's not hard to get people obsessed with you. I mean, you remember the one guy that when he when I wouldn't like tell him what my channel was on Discord, he like typed in my first name and looked it up until he heard a video with my voice, and it was like you don't even have to be famous or a notable person to have creepy people, especially creepy men online that are like obsessed with you in some way and won't leave you alone and are like actively trying to do things relating to you even if they claim they don't like you because that's just how obsession is. Some of these people really can't let you go. That's why when I did that what was it, creepy men think my wardrobe is important video, I was talking about how I always am reminded of how you can just draw these really weird people to you. If even you can have a video that gets 10 or 20 views and you'll still have some weird person trying to say something because they just pop up and appear, and it's usually the same couple of them that write that weird stuff. You think I'm kidding? Be an actual famous person have like stalkers and like creepy people trying to get your attention, which we've known that for a while because I remember there was this one guy I used to watch that did a video about some guy that made a video on him, that like disgruntled supporter. He was like, "This channel is officially dead." And yeah, I'm fairly open about my insecurities because I have nothing to be ashamed of, and I don't hide behind a fake braggadocious ego. Power cycle when you get in the front. No, these people online always find a way to make somebody feel bad about whatever they think your insecurity is. It's really hilarious. I really don't think if we were to go through all of the nasty comments from chicks that any of them actually came from women, because again, like you never see them on this type of content. My actual theory is that a lot of these guys are what's the way of putting it? They think they'll stand out more if they have a female name, because again, they think anyone could just be seduced by chicks. Um, and then when that doesn't work, they go back and make another account, pretend to be somebody else. Man, this Wi-Fi is so awful. It's always something. Technology, man, it's really amazing how primitive it can be. People online will try to make you feel like you're literally subhuman just because you won't listen to their particular advice, as though your life will fall apart without their. One of them actually said that on one of my videos where he was like, "Fine, don't take my advice. You're effed." And I'm just thinking to myself, why do I like imagine how much of an ego you have to think that you, this random person on the computer, are going to say something so profound, so unheard of, so historic, so much of a variance to the types of things that I hear or I've heard before on this video with several hundred comments. That if I don't listen to it, I can just throw in the towel. I might as well just go and end it all. Go find a local bridge to jump off. It's like, that ego, man, it makes these people lose their marbles. I mean, if you like, it's funny how men who can't get with a woman are like the ones who get stereotyped as being like angry and rageful. But if you saw the like nastiness of that comment, you know, you would really you would know what I'm talking about. He said so mesmerizing. So yeah, he wrote something so profound and so unheard of and so revolutionary that we just have to listen to him. And if you don't listen to him, it's all over, and you shouldn't even try to ever talk to another woman again. He's such a genius, and everything he says is so brilliant. And I said, damn, if you're this smart, go write a book or go make videos. That is an actual thing that people do where they claim to be very knowledgeable of something or know how to do something better than others, but they never actually show proof of that. So, for example, there was a woman I used to talk to for like the romance saga, and she said that if she ran for the Senate, the U.S. Senate, right, in her state, that she would win. And I laughed and I said, then actually do it. Because I said before that I try to be very humble when it comes to elections, especially if I'm not someone who's ever run before, because I don't know what my strengths and weaknesses are as a candidate. Um, but even I wouldn't be as ego filled to say if I ran, I would win when I've never run for something before and have no idea how I would fare as a result of that. Oh yeah, if I ran, I would definitely get 4 million votes. Like, how? Nobody even knows who you are. Which is actually the number one ways that candidates get screwed over, though, because a lack of name recognition will lead to less people donating, which will play a role in you losing because the majority of the time when somebody wins, it's the person with the most money. Which is why I said the U.S. isn't even a democracy; it's an oligarchy. But I just thought that was hilarious. If I ran, I would win and do it. Let's see your victory lap. Of course, she won't do it because that's just how these people are. They claim one thing and then don't actually go through with it. They always try to pretend they're so sick. Well, it's God. I just think that's hilarious. They always pretend they're so successful and so brilliant and so smart and saying something intelligent, but they're not. They're just talking. On the TV, it starts to play it a little bit and then it turns it off after like 5 seconds. I've seen it flash like 3 times now. Yeah, these devices are a piece of work. I don't know. I just wish things weren't as obnoxious. Like, oh, you want to watch something? Uh, don't worry, but if your connection randomly stops working in this one particular room, too bad. These devices, and it's like that with all the ones over here. They're because I was using my phone earlier and it was acting up too. I had to go on cellular data And like I said, I have to use that with the computer as well. That's the only reason I'm even able to stream. I guess I could stream my phone too, but it probably would I talked before about how like I'm really subconscious when it comes to streaming on my phone because I have to place it up against something that's like a good angle. Um, and I can't turn the audio off. So if somebody were to come in here, which probably will not happen today, but if someone were to come in here, I wouldn't be able to, mute it. So a lot of these people suffer from Dunning-Kruger effect, where they overestimate themselves because their egos are so monumental that they forget just how average they are. I mean, you could say the same thing about a lot of these chicks. I talked before about how when me and my friend were on Facebook, we were looking at this one woman's profile and she was overweight and she was like getting married to this guy that was skinny. And we were talking about how it's like, yeah, we're not saying he shouldn't marry her or he shouldn't like who he wants to like. What we are saying is that if you have to be in shape, whatever that means, to go on a date with someone that's 300 pounds or get accepted by someone that's 300 pounds, there's something wrong with that. And I think that's the Dunning Kruger effect too. I think a lot of chicks that are not that great are able to like fetch these high value positions because of their gender. Like if I had 5, 15, 30 chicks trying to talk to me at once, I probably would think I was better than I actually am too. It's so funny because if I ever did talk to that many of them at once, it wouldn't. We discussed this before. Like, where a man, if he's trying to actually get a date, he'll talk to a whole bunch of chicks because he thinks the numbers game works. But then a woman will talk to a bunch of different men, like literally just for attention. Yeah, you have a lot of people who are like actually really scared of being alone, and I have mixed views on it because on one hand, I do sometimes think about what it would have been like to be married, and to have a family. Just the other stuff that we've talked about as being something I previously wanted to do but couldn't because of the modern chicks being so damn similar to each other. But I don't know. A lot of times, if I'm reading something or I'm watching something, I don't mind being by myself. Um, I don't know. I guess the best way to put it is because I don't think that you should just year after year get the same result from chicks. Like no progression, right? And I also don't believe in this idea that if you just wait until you're, whatever age these people say you're supposed to be, that suddenly someone will like you for who you are and, materialize. I don't know. I've just gotten so used to doing things on my own that like the idea of being with someone and like actually living with, I just couldn't imagine it. I really couldn't. Like I couldn't picture a scenario like that. That's why I said that's one of the worst parts of like continuously having like nothing with chicks because you just get so used to the fantasy of them and like the reality of just them never actually doing things you want them to do. So I don't know. It's sad in a way. Like I'm not trying to psychoanalyze myself, but it is kind of depressing to think about how you just accepted the idea that you're a person who for the most part likes to be around other people, but because of how unstable they are, because of how uncompromising they are, because they never like you back, these chicks anyway, romantically, you just accept it like, yeah, it's just gonna be me by myself forever, unless it's a gold digger. I don't know if you got what I was saying. Akatsuki merchant, I could have been speaking in some confusing manner. But seriously, I really think that if someone spends years by themselves with no like reciprocation from the opposite gender, that can play a big part into them just kind of like getting used to, yeah, this is not happening. And to where it really does seem more like a fantasy than something that could really happen. Like, oh yeah, you're gonna meet this woman that is going to fall in love. Just like, you really want me to believe that? You can't even get one of those bastards to go on a date, but you're supposed to believe that one of them will eventually approach you and go on dates and develop this intimacy. I just don't believe it. We've seen too little progress and a lot of lies. It's just so hard to believe any of that stuff will ever happen. I tell you the worst part about that gold digger from what was that 2016 is that it made it to where you know you can lose by winning. Like if you had told me, "Oh yeah, you're going to be more miserable with a woman than you were when you were by yourself," I would say, "You're crazy. Well, it doesn't even make any sense." But sure enough, that they allowed that to occur. I was like, "Wow." So if I ever did become something important, I would I would not trust a single chick. Like I would be even more distrustful because I would say, where the hell did they come from? Where were they when I was climbing up? You know, the Johnny come latelys. Remember, if you say that chicks never like you back, or if they do, they're gold diggers. You're negative, not the not the ones who will tell you that a relationship couldn't work without even trying at all. No, they always they're so positive as they tell you that something couldn't work without even attempting it in the first place. Send me a picture of it. I'm just thinking of how to try and reset this thing. Like you're over here just being cruel and nasty towards people while also trying to convince me that you're this good person who lives a happy life. Dude, and that's what gets me because like imagine let's pretend that was an actual woman who's an RN and like has this great career. Why the hell would someone who is successful watch a person who is not successful, who they don't like, who they think is a clown as she tried to call him? Like it doesn't make any sense. And that's why I said that even if you were to assume that was a chick, which I still don't think it was, there are a lot of people who are, I guess, successful to some extent. They have a job, they have a wife or kids, and they still are miserable. And they come on here and they might post some pictures of them smiling, but it's all an act. I mean, hey, you look at what's the name of that one couple, the two chicks that adopted the I'm trying to remember what their names were. Let me look it up. I think it was the yeah, yeah, I got it right. I got it right. Okay, I don't know if you remember Akatsuki Merchant, but there was a couple called Jennifer and Sarah Hart, and they adopted these six black children. And they would post pictures, and it looked like they had this big, happy, large family. But what was actually going on was that most of the children were being malnourished, abused physically, um, just complete subhuman treatment, right? And when their signs of abuse started to become something that was getting out there and looked like they were finally going to get in trouble for acting like this, only then did they decide, you know what, it's over, and they drove themselves and these six children off of a cliff and into this water, and they all died. Um, and I'm just bringing that case up to say that people can depict some like that's why you can't take stuff that people post on here seriously because if you were to look at pictures of them, they looked happy, they were in a just this amazing, great family, and it was all an act. It was just it was a work. Like WWE was more real than that. So I said, don't let people trick you into buying into their garbage. A lot of people try to play both villain and hero. It's so strange. I'm such a hero as I try to give you this unsolicited advice, but I'm also going to play villain by attacking you over your personality when you choose to not take advice that you shouldn't have to take if you don't want to. So they really can't decide what they are. They harass people, they write nasty stuff, they attack you over things that have done nothing that shouldn't mean a single thing in the world to them because it's supposed to have no effect toward them. I mean, they're just pricks. They have no consistency, and they're just very unhappy and very nasty and very antagonistic. I don't know. I keep thinking of those hypotheticals. Like if I was truly happy, like in a good mood, enjoyed everything, which I'll be the first one to admit I'm not. But if I was supposedly extremely successful or very successful, I couldn't imagine having the time or even the want to go on my computer and belittle a person who I've never met before. And I mean, you've seen them do it in the past where the first thing they write is some question that's like antagonistic, right? Like you saw the one from the it was another edition of Saturday Smack. I don't remember which one it was, but it was that same chick, supposed chick anyway, who said another stream bashing women SMH or some other type of thing. It's like a question mark, and then their conclusion being drawn. Then with this one from Saturday, it's something like, uh, "Why do you hate women?" or "How does hating women advance your life?" Right. So you see where it's always some antagonistic question, rhetorical question, right? Because that's what they do. They try to like seem intellectual by asking stuff that they already know the answer to, or is they assert something in such a way as for them to already know the answer to what they're asking, which makes it even more stupid that they're even bothering to comment this in the first place. Then when like go in on them and say, hey, why the hell do you care if this thing that has nothing to do with you is something I choose to discuss? And how is it not, you start to break down their points, go, well, I wasn't saying, oh, I didn't mean, oh, I did. They always do that. But what I'm conveying to you is I can't imagine, like, hypothetical. I'm married. I have children. I have some, job that pays enough to support this family. The woman works as well. Um, I can do my show. I can do documentaries. Like, I can't imagine actually being successful, or at least, again, successful in terms of what I want, and then having the time to come online, watch videos by people I don't like, and then go on their chat and try to like write nasty stuff to I just can't. And again, there are people on YouTube that I think are stupid, but I don't watch them. Sure as hell leave them nasty comments. Seriously, I couldn't imagine being a happy individual who has achieved some feat or some other type of like victory and doing that. It's like, look at how successful I am. As I go online and mess with people, people love doing that, man. They just sit there and I don't know what they get out of it. I really don't. They never want to own up to the things they say. Yeah, they backpedal so quickly and they act like you misinterpreted what they wrote. Like, no, you wrote something nasty and we responded by asking, but because what they want you to do is say, like, "Oh, shut up," or some other like rebuttal that doesn't really address. Like, no, no, we broke down logically why what you wrote didn't make any sense, and then you have to start abandoning it. Oh, I didn't mean this. Well, this isn't bad per se because you can't commit to the actual intentions of your comment, which was to insult and belittle those that don't agree with you. You remember that one guy that was like, "We were better off not getting Spider-Man 4," and I delete his comment. He was like, "I just have a different opinion, and you could have told me why having this movie would be good." It's like, why do I have to explain to you why I want a movie to be made? Just like with the one guy that was like, "Oh, why do you feel as if your life is good if you're not able to get?" It's like, why do I have to debate the merits of my fulfillment and content with some random person on the internet? Like, you get where it's weird. It's like they think you owe them an explanation for why you are satisfied or happy or otherwise not bothered by something. That woman's question was a complex red herring fallacy. Dude, the only reason I don't ban these people sooner is because when I do like edited video talking about how stupid they are, I can't do it and have screenshots if I get rid of the comment before the stream is finished processing. So like the crap she wrote on Saturday, or I guess he wrote on Saturday, um, it's not there anymore. Like you can only I read comments, so that's usually the way we know what was written. But I'm just saying I like showing proof. I told you I really think there's like one guy who is just obsessed with me. Like one or two guys that are making all these different accounts with these different names because they actively wait until I stream to start like to make an appearance because I've said before I stream at this time or whatever. Not this time right now usually, but like 10 to 12. So they know what time I stream, which is why they're always able to crash the stream. They don't leave comments on videos usually, um, because they know I don't respond to comments on videos unless it's someone I like. So I really think it's like one or two different guys that are doing this. I don't think it's a whole bunch of random people that discover me and so because like I said, they sound too similar for me to believe that theory. Dude, why does what's so funny how they tell me that I like overthink things like why can't you just make a video or a stream or some other type of material where you just talk about something that you think is interesting or that bothers you and that's it? Like why does me speaking and critiquing chicks have to be part of some like lifelong ambition or our ultimate goal or so like because I had some other bimbo from like I think it was 2018. They can't she and it's same thing, right? Person you've never seen before. And they're like, I've noticed that you've been attacking women a lot lately. what do you hope to accomplish? But it's like, why can't I just make content? Like, what it's kind of like if I make an episode of my show, I write the script, I draw all the pictures, get the voice actors do their lines, et cetera, et cetera. I put it out, and then somebody says, "What is the purpose of this episode or this series being released?" Like, it's just something I like to make. I mean, so I said, like, why does what is with this push to try and give everything some excessive life defining meaning? Like, I really question, why can't you just enjoy discussing something or want to discuss something of it, like, for its own merit? Like, if I do a stream talking about the life and legacy of McCain, I'm not doing that because I think I'm going to get paid, or well, I probably would, because YouTube would demonetize me if I mention certain countries. But why can't if I want to do a stream on his life, just make the stream because I wanted to talk about him? Like, why does it have to be for some incentive that is not just I wanted to discuss this? People online act as though they're entitled to a debate with you. They don't know how to just have a normal discussion. It has to be a debate to them. Well, see, that's why that one guy got on my nerves, because he kept like it. There are plenty of disagreements on this channel, but when you're the same when it seems like you're always the one person that has a problem with something, no matter what's being talked about, you just get sick of it. So I really I don't know why everything has to be an argument. Like, why can't you just like something? Like, I'm not. You had Megumi say that he liked GT. You didn't see me try to debate him or argue, because, like, why can't he just like a show I don't like? I don't understand. But that's why I said that people on here, they try to, when they get banned or deleted, they try to pretend that it's like this big censorship zone. It's like, no, there's just certain stuff that I truly believe is not worth debating. I don't think I should have to explain to someone why I don't want to talk to chicks anymore. All the evidence is already there in past videos. It's like, if you're too lazy to do basic research, I don't see why I have to make up for your decision to bypass everything that explains why I've made the decisions that I've made. But I don't even know who that is. Although I would debate, what's that lady's name? Cherry playing with water. She's a nice lady. I might debate her. Because if I don't get rid of them, they're disruptive to the stream and draw people's attention away from what's being talked about. Yeah, I've been banned from places too. I just leave. I just go away. I don't make multiple accounts to come back. If other people have the right to get rid of me, I have the right to get rid of them. They have to be right, and you have to agree with them. If you don't, they'll label you as the worst person ever. Well, what I've seen from my own experience is that they try to never stop debating. They try to, like, keep the argument going. There's an old stream from like 4 years ago, where some guy was like arguing, like, it was something about Black Lives Matter, and it's like me and him going back and forth for like 2 hours, and I swore after that stream I would never let that happen again, and I ever since then I will not have these like long ongoing, because it drowns out the rest of the conversation. Well, if it's toxically feminine, you can just watch somebody else. If that doesn't appeal to you. I've been banned by plenty of men. You can ban people, depending on what your gender doesn't really have anything to do with it. So I don't understand why I should have to put up with people trying to mess with my stream or otherwise do things that divert attention from what's being talked about. Oh. No, they love sitting there and just arguing. It's like, okay, we get it. I don't know. I always feel like if someone wanted to set up a stream for the purpose of debating, maybe I'd be open to it. Like, hey, let's argue about this, because at least then you know what you're getting. But if you're doing a stream where you're talking about really any topic with multiple people, the person that keeps like asking you questions and rebuttals is a lot of times purposely trying to divert attention from the rest of the chat and make themselves like the star or the focal point. And like I said, man, it's just I don't really enjoy debates. Like I'll defend my points, I'll answer questions if asked usually, but as far as like the back and forth, the only time you would see me willingly participate in something like that is if I was running for office, and that's only because that's for a specific I guess vantage point of the views and positions of both candidates. But as far as like I want you to debate me about your love life. What the hell? What is there to debate? I said I'm done. That's it. Case closed. I want you to debate me about this movie you like. Why? It's a movie that I enjoy. Why? What? I mean, what is going? What is the purpose of this? I'm well aware of the fact that there are some people that don't like it. It is what it is. I don't bother them, but I need to be argued with over the merits of whether I should be able to enjoy this piece of media. Oh my god! Hey, Sal, you're not owed a space on someone else's platform. This isn't some disputable topic. It's just basic etiquette. It works the same way in real life. Well, that's what always gets me that like in real you have places that have rules. Like there are certain bars, for example, that won't let you come in there unless you're wearing a suit and tie. You have other places that won't let you come if you disrupt them or create a scene. You've seen the no shirt, no shoes, no service sign before, but it's only online where people really think that if there is any pushback in terms of where they can speak, they're being censored. So, for example, I've been banned on people's channels before, but what I've always been able to do, if I really feel as if I have something to say and I can't say it directly to them, is make a video about it. I've had people ban me on Discord, and then if I feel like venting about why what they did was stupid, I do a video about it. So as long as there are places where you can still express an opinion, especially if it's on the same website, I don't really see how you're being censored. Like on Discord, nobody on there except for maybe the actual staff, and usually I don't even do anything, can actually ban me off of the site. I've been kicked out of servers before for reasons I think were BS, but I understood when I joined those servers that the people who run them can get rid of you whenever they want. That's effectively their platform. Um, but again, that's the only platform they have, and as long as you have other avenues to express your position, I don't see where the censorship is really. That's why I said this discussion is always so stupid to me because we talked about this before. There are a lot of people who think if they can't say something directly to you, they're being censored. So if I wanted to make a video talking about why PewDiePie has a horrible channel, just example, um, and I go in his live chat and I say I'm going to make a video exposing you, and then he bans me, and I go on my channel. I'm censored. I can no longer reveal why PewDiePie's channel is terrible. And they're like, wait a second, you can make a video about it and say everything you wanted to say to him in the video. And they're like, oh yeah. But that's why I said a lot of people do see it as like as being censored if they can't directly say something to a particular content creator, which I do think is insane. Yeah, and no one cries about about getting kicked out of these places. Well, people will sometimes like get angry, but you don't see them being told that like you will not see a place that has rules um being accused of censoring people and depriving them of their free speech and all their civil liberties are being destroyed. You don't see that because it's understood in real life that you can't just do things without consequence. You can't just go somewhere that says, "Hey, you can't do this," and then do it, and then nothing will happen to you. Just like if I go to a preschool and I start to curse in front of the little children, there's a good chance they're probably going to tell me to get off the campus because they don't want that type of language being used around these young, impressionable, kids, which I have seen before that they, which whatever. But it's like no one's going to have that happen where they're told to leave after they swear in front of some kids and then be like, I can't swear anywhere. Like, no, you can go somewhere else. And by the way, adults do that at schools all the time. They go in the teachers' lounge and they swear and talk all kind of, different types of language. But it's just so funny how like in real life there are rules pretty much wherever you go, and only online do people think it's supposed to be like the wild wild west and you can just do whatever you want. And if there's any pushback whatsoever, you're being censored. So it's really sad. Hey, I should be like Shapiro and the rest of those other big commentators where they let people write whatever they want on streams, don't even bother reading it unless it's a super chat. I still think it's funny how like it's more problematic for me to like read people's comments and then delete someone when they get out of line than it is to just completely ignore the whole chat except when someone donates. You see how backwards it is? So if I read comments and then there's someone that tries to argue me and I get rid of that one or those two people off a stream, it's too much. But if someone has a whole bunch of people in their chat and they conveniently can only read comments where people donate to them, it's okay. I've seen some streams where it's not even 20 people watching and they'll ignore all the comments except for the super chat. I don't like Nostalgia Critics content, but I don't go on his videos leaving nasty comments and harassing. Yeah, because like nobody has time for that. No one who actually is trying to do something has time to just go online and like, especially this like to these big like what is that's why I said I never understood the point of that. Do you think Doug that's Nostalgia Critics real name? You think Doug is gonna like look at your comment and go, oh, it's time to retire? The great Akatsuki merchant doesn't like me. That's why I said the people and their rationales always befuddle me. Like just they can find purpose in doing some of the dumbest stuff. It's just really sad that stuff is like this though. And remember these people that come on here and do these things, you'll never see them actually try to be better than what they claim is bad. So all the guys that come on the video and try to like argue me about the romance stuff, you'll never see any of them make a video explaining how if we just do their strategy, everything will be so perfect and great. Because they're just empty suits. They are there to try and get attention and try and make their garbage reality seem like it's good. Because like I said, no one who's actually successful with chicks is watching this type of stuff. There's just no reason to. Um, So it's really sad that like the best thing they can do for themselves is to just come online and pretend to be these success stories and convince you of their snake oil salesman tactics working. It's really sad. Anyways, I'm gonna get off of here because this is actually killing my phone. Like it's almost at half battery now because of the hotspot thing. So I'll come back on Saturday. Obviously, I'll put some videos up throughout the week, but I think it should work again. I don't know. Maybe again, if it works like this on Saturday, I'll just use the hotspot. So thanks for watching, and have a good rest of your day. I wish, I hope your day is better than my internet.